This video is going to be on using proportions to find problems where we have tax, tip, and commission. And the first thing we need to talk about, guys, is what is commission? Okay, so add these to your notes. Commission is basically, it's a percent that's added based on sales. So basically it is the percent as a decimal times your sales. That's going to be giving you how much commission are you making. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at our first example. In our first example, it says we have a video game which is costing you $34.98, and we have a sales tax which is 5.5%. In this problem, guys, remember we learned two different ways where we learned with percent about how to solve them. We had the proportion way, and then we had the equation way. The first way I'm going to show you is using the equation. So remember, it's the percent as a decimal times the of equals the is. So here we want to know what is 5.5% of $34. So I'm going to go ahead and put if I move the decimal twice, okay, that's going to be 0.055 times 34.98, and that is going to give me $1.92. Okay, so I found the sales tax. Now, I want to add this so I can find the total price, because remember, if you're going to the store, they don't just charge you this. On your ticket, when you get it in the receipt, it says the price, and then it says adding tax, and then they give you your total. So I need to add this at the end. This is a very, very important step. If you don't do this, you can't get the total. Okay, so we add those two, and we end up with $36.90. So in total, I would pay $36.90. Now, what is the other way that we could have set this up? To set this up, we could have also said, okay, if I want to find 5.5%, that would be over 100%, and that equals question mark over $34.98. And I would have done the same thing, cross multiplied, divided, and I would have gotten the same answer. Now, just because I did it with proportions doesn't mean that I get rid of this step. We will always have this step. Once we know the sales tax, we need to add it so that we can find the total amount. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. In the next one, we're going to be learning about how to estimate. This is going to be very helpful, especially on the STAR test. If you're running out of time, you could this could be something quick and mentally that you can check. So in this problem, guys, it says we went to the restaurant and the bill was $34.50. They want to know how much tip do you have to leave if we want to give a 15% tip. Well, 15% is not an easy number to deal with. If it was 50%, quickly you could divide that by 2 and you would get your answer. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and round, since we're estimating, okay? So we're going to round $34.50. That's about $35. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead, and the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to find 10%. So to find that, guys, since 35 is 100%, to find 10%, what am I doing? The only thing I'm doing is moving my decimal 1 to the right. Therefore, I'm going to do that same thing right here. So 10%, or point to find 10% of 35 is 3.5. I move my decimal. Okay, and then, well, 15% is 10% plus another 5%. So I'm going to find 5% now. So how do I do that? Well, I already know what 10% is. 10% is 3.5. To find 5%, what am I really doing? Well, I'm doing is splitting it in half. So what is half of 3.5? Half of 3.5 is 1.75. And what do I notice? Well, in order to get the 15% that I want, all I need to do is add these two. So that's why up here we are filling in. We are going to be putting 3.5 plus 1.75 is giving me a total of 5.25 because I am adding the 10%, adding the 15% to get and adding the 5%, I'm sorry, to get the 15% that they wanted me to find. Therefore, if I add those two, a 15% tip is around $5.25. And that would be a real short way to kind of estimate and get in a close answer. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the next example. In the next example, we are dealing with commission. Okay, sorry. So it says find the commission on a $450 sales with a commission rate of 7%. So we discussed at the beginning that commission was a percent of what you were able to sell. So we sold $450. And basically, of those $450, a company, in order to give some sort of incentive for people to sell more, they're going to give a percent of that you sold, whether it's jewelry, a car, whatever it is you're selling, back to the person who sold it. So that's going to be 7% that they're giving back. Okay, so to fill this out, guys, we are going to be doing what times what equals what. In this case, okay, we're going to be writing 7% as 0.07 and multiplying. So we're going to go ahead and put, just like we were doing, percent as a decimal times the sales, or the of, is going to give me the commission, like we learned at the beginning. So this would be 0.07 times $450, and that is going to give me $31.50. So the commission, this person is going to receive $31 for selling $450 worth of whatever, clothes, jewelry, whatever it was that they were selling. Okay? Again, was this the only way you could solve it? No, you could have also set up a proportion. 7% out of 100%. And you want to know the how much is 7% of $450 sales. Okay, last example. It says find the commission, the total earnings for a salesperson with a salary of $550 plus 4% commission, and they sold 1,000. So this person is not only getting paid commission, they're going to get paid a certain amount for just working, showing up to work. Whether they sell or they don't sell, they're going to get paid something. So this person gets paid $550. So that's their total earnings. To find their total earnings, we're going to be doing their salary plus their commission, and that's going to give me the total amount that they're going to get. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fill this in. We don't know the total. We do know their salary. They're getting paid $550. Okay, and we want to find 4% commission of $1,485. Okay, so to do that, I would go ahead and multiply. So that's going to give me 550 plus 0.04 times 1,485. We multiply 0.04, and so that gives me 59.40. And I'm going to end up adding, sorry, it looks like a 6. It should be a 0. Okay, and so we get $609.40. So that person is making $609 with 40 cents.